Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This indeed is a troubling time for government ethics throughout all three federal government branches. At this very hour, the twice impeached insurrection inciting former leader of the executive branch and current Republican candidate for president Donald Trump is under arrest in federal court. A grand jury of our fellow citizens indicted him on felony charges of threatening our national security in violation of the Espionage Act and committing obstruction of justice and false statement crimes. Our laws that protect national defense information are critical to the safety and security of the United States, and they must be enforced. Violations of those laws put our country and allies at risk. Meanwhile, at the top of the judicial branch, Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas is embroiled in a variety of ethics scandals. For decades, Justice Thomas has engaged in a pattern of accepting and, in violation of disclosure requirements, concealing gifts and luxury vacations received from a billionaire political activist who reportedly had a financial interest in at least one case before the Supreme Court. And here in the legislative branch, just last month, a grand jury indicted Republican Representative George Santos on federal charges of fraudulent schemes, money laundering, theft of public funds, and false statements. That's not counting the pending charges he has in Brazil. I can't imagine, Mr. Chairman, having one of our members of Congress extradited by another country. The House Ethics Committee is now investigating these allegations and whether Mr. Santos engaged in sexual misconduct against someone seeking employment in his congressional office. Although more than a dozen Republican House members, led courageously by Representative D'Esposito of this committee, have called on Mr. Santos to resign, House Republicans prevented Democrats from forcing a vote on expelling Mr. Santos from the House. I ask that all members of this committee to take the opportunity during this hearing to join Representative D'Esposito and me in publicly calling on a bipartisan basis for Mr. Santos to resign. It is clear that ensuring ethical conduct here in the House has never been more important. Let me be clear, I remain committed to fighting against corruption from my years of work to hold judges accountable for sexual assaults, to my work as a member of the Appropriations Committee ensuring appropriate use of taxpayers' funds. Throughout this work, I have seen the ways in which a single bad actor overshadowed the good work of essential institutions. I am deeply concerned about the allegations facing one of our witnesses here today, but we must not let one individual define the entire institution. I sincerely thank the chairman for convening this hearing and the witnesses for their testimony. I am grateful that we are here to get the transparency the American people deserve and use this as an opportunity to strengthen the office of Congressional Ethics, because no one is above the law. The Office of Congressional Ethics, or OCE, serves a crucial role as an independent, nonpartisan entity charged with reviewing allegations of misconduct against members, officers, and staff of the House, and when appropriate, referring matters to the Ethics Committee. By the way, while I did eventually find your code of conduct, it did not appear in my search when I looked at your website. It is very valuable for an independent, nonpartisan entity such as OCE to participate in enforcing the House's ethical standards. At the same time, it is important that OCE set an example for ethical, unbiased conduct and ensure fairness in its activities. I look forward to learning more about OCE from our witnesses and working with my colleagues on a bipartisan basis to ensure that it functions as well as possible, and I yield back.